First, I'm going to start by pinning my hair back just to make sure it's out of my way and I have enough space to work. Going to begin by moisturizing with organic, unrefined coconut oil. Got it from Walmart. Warming it up just to make sure that my skin is moisturized and just ensuring that I'm not putting any product on a dry palette. Then I'm going to move into the NYX Photo Loving Primer just to make sure that I go ahead and set my face with it, just to ensure that my makeup is not slipping and sliding, and just to allow the product to move and blend well. Working that in, making sure I get all of it, as well as my lips and my face, because I do like to put a little bit of foundation on my neck just to ensure it's not a rough transition. Alright, so we're going to be applying the foundation with the Real Technique brush. The brush itself moves product well for me. Before being gifted it was using a brush. So the foundation that I'm using is Urban Decay Naked Skin. Unsure of the shade, but I definitely put it in the description box below. Checking it up. Don't use it often, so I want to make sure that I shake it up well. About 3 pumps here, not a lot. I don't like a lot of product, but I definitely like great coverage. So starting up on my eye and blending it out. In the other side, blending that out as well. Moving it around. Although it looks a little light once you apply it and work it in, it definitely warms up, and it's pretty much the color of my skin. Do have a very red undertone, but definitely love this foundation. Working it out. Make sure I hit up on the cheek, on the eyes. I go in circular motions because I feel like it doesn't give me any harsh lines, and it blends the product in really, really well. Not allowing it to just sit on my face. Alright, moving right along. This is NYX Invisible Liquid Foundation in the shade Caramel. I like to use this up under my eyes, on my forehead, and a little bit on my chin, just because I feel like those areas are a little bit lighter than the rest of my face. I do use this as opposed to a primer. I haven't found a primer that I actually like, and I feel like the liquid foundation blends well with the other foundation, but also still gives me a little bit more protection or a smoother look up under my eyes as opposed to the naked. So not as thick as a primer, but definitely thicker than the Urban Decay. Taking that same Real Technique brush and just blending that out. Not sure what I was listening to, but hey, look like a party to me. Still blending it out. Alright, keeping the same circular motions. Hitting that nose again, blending that NYX foundation out. Making sure we don't have any harsh lines. Alright. Still blending, hitting that chin one more time. Blending up under the eyes, and that nose, that forehead. Alright, quickly moving on to the brows. Brushing them out, making sure that they're fullest potential. I do have slightly thick brows, but I'm using the Benefits brow gel or pomade. I've had it for a while, as you can tell by the label, but I love it because it's not too much, but it does allow me to fill in any of my thin spaces in my brows, and just making sure that they look very consistent and full. Alright, so this is very unconventional. Don't talk about me, but this is how I do my brows. I don't require much. Taking that same NYX liquid foundation in the shade Caramel, just using it to outline my brow after I do put the gel on, and just making it look very clean. It doesn't take much, but this does give it a more finished look. Yes, I do this every time. It is a Q-tip. I know that there are brushes you can use, but this is a lot easier for me, and I can throw it away. So finishing up with that same Benefits brow gel, doing it on both sides. And going back in with the Real Technique brush just to ensure everything is blended. This is another NYX palette. That I clearly love, as you can tell. Again, I stick to the natural tones, which this palette is awesome for. It has contour and highlight, as well as a few eyeshadows. So right now you see me contouring, and this is a Sephora brush. I've had it again for a while, obviously, but I have because I don't use it often. I stick to what I know. So doing a little contour on my cheeks. I also hit up under my jawline, and then in the temple area, taking the same brush that I use for my foundation and just blending it out. Alright, on to the fun part. A little highlight here, that's all in that same palette. Don't use much, but I definitely like to hit above my cheeks, the nose, right above my lip, and up under my brows. Blending it out. Using my finger. I definitely love a highlight. Don't like too much though. Same brush, blending it out. Just making sure that it's not just sitting there. Just enough for a little glow. Alright, gonna move very quickly right onto another palette. This is a Maybelline Blush Nudes palette, I want to say. Putting a little pink in the corners. Again, I'm not a professional, so my terminology is probably off, but I'm using a lighter pink in the corner of my eye because I do feel like it makes it pop. Back to the NYX palette, and I'm going to reach in for a shimmery brown, light brown. Very much stick to the very neutral tones. More of a natural brown, and it's probably because it's easier for me to fix it if I mess it up. I can venture off into brighter colors, but I have to get this down first. So for now, I'll stick to the natural tones and the eyeshadows. Alright, so it's one from the corner, working into the crease. Just to blend it out a little bit. Make sure there's no harsh lines. Blend that lighter color with the pink, and this is a darker brown that I'm using. Very, very hard for me to make sure I get it right on both sides and that they're the same. So it takes me longer to do my eyes than anything else in my opinion. Definitely don't want one eye, one color in the other eye. Something completely different. Alright, we're just blending here. Alright, taking that foundation brush just to remove any of the excess shadow in the under eye, just to give it a little bit of pop of color. And back in just to clean out the excess with the foundation brush. I'm going to finish up the eye with Sephora liquid liner in Black Noir. This probably takes me the longest, but liquid eyeliner is not very forgiving, so you do have to be patient. Take your time. So starting my line, the corner of my eye, and then starting from the outer eye, working in. This is me attempting not to cry, because if it waters, it messes it completely up. So cleaning up my line, back in with that same eyeshadow brush. Alright, so I finished my eyes off camera, as you can tell. Very thin wing, just a little bit dramatic, but not too much. Come back in and clean it up with that same foundation brush. Making sure I get rid of that excess. Alright. Blending a little bit more on my forehead. And I lined my lips off camera with a brown liner. And this is the Fenty lip gloss, which is my absolute favorite. I definitely love it. Just give it a nice shiny lip, but nothing too over the top. Still a little elegant. I love a brow lip liner. I know some people don't like it, but I love it with a lip gloss. Almost done with the face, so we're gonna move right along and start working on this hair. After a wash, this is definitely a wash and go. What I'm gonna show you is how I actually refresh it, shaking off the excess water. No, I did not wash it before the scene. I actually got one in the shower. Here's me trying to make sure I clean up from where the water I shook off and got into my makeup. Starting with SheaMoisture Make It Last Wash and Go Defining Curl Gel is very different consistency from me, but I love it. I found it at Walmart. So I'm going to start by sectioning my hair, and I never section my hair with dry hands. Anytime you're manipulating your hair, you definitely want to make sure that your hands are not dry or that you don't have any rings or anything of that nature that can possibly damage your hair or, in my case, tangle. So I definitely like to get a little bit of product, rub it in. I start with the roots and work my way out to the ends. Hate for my roots to be dry, the rest of my hair to be very moisturized. So working from the roots to the end ensures that every piece and coil is actually well defined and moisturized and no piece is dry. Definitely want to take your time and work it all the way through. Here you see me separating my curls. So creating a couple ringlets, you don't have to do it a lot, but when you separate your curls individually, it definitely gives you a lot more volume than it would if you didn't. This is totally optional, but I like for my curls to be defined and separated as opposed to together and tangled, in my opinion. This gives it that volume and that rounded out look. You definitely have the option to do your whole head. That would take me forever, so I just do a few pieces here and there in each section. And it's a lot easier for me to focus on the front and then section it off and work my way through my entire head. So this is me doing the front, making sure that it lays the way that I like to. I'm going to move on, section off the back, half it down the middle, and put the other up while I focus on the one side. Same thing, working it from the roots and going all the way down, just to ensure that the roots itself is not dry and everything is moisturized. Working my fingers through it, moving that product literally from the root all the way to the ends. Here again, we are separating our curls, making sure that the product is on each piece. Definitely take some time, but I can promise you that the results are definitely worth it. When you get that finished product and your fro is very bouncy and full. Alright, so I'm going to do this all the way around. Taking the curls, separating them. There you go. Moving to the next section, same thing. Taking the product, starting at the roots, moving all the way to the end. Still working here, finishing up that last section by separating the curls. Here we have a nice little jug, shaking it out. Making sure that my front is separated and lays the way that I want it to by just separating my curls. In that middle, my middle tends to be the driest part, probably because I don't moisturize it as good as I should, or just because it's just dry. Alright, we're almost done here. Here I'm just finding individual pieces. I don't like frizz, so I'll definitely take the frizzy parts and kind of re-moisturize and work the product in. Alright, taking my pick. This is the part that gives you the volume. You definitely don't want to pick from the ends, you want to pick from the roots. Picking from the roots ensures that you don't get any unnecessary frizz. So this allows you to shape it and make sure that it's rounded out the way that you want it to be. Picking is very forgiving because if you do mess it up or that part isn't, the way that you want it to, you can definitely manipulate it the way that you feel the need to. Big you want to know what you're feeling at. This style is feeling very, very big. This part here just allows to make sure there's no spaces and one side isn't full and the other isn't. So Here you see that I have to separate, and it's probably because of the way I separated earlier. So you're just taking literally that section of hair and separating the curls, just to ensure you don't have any flat spaces. And this literally is all it takes, you guys. You're fluffing, you're shaking, shaping with the pick, stretching it to the way that you want it, the height, the length, whatever you want to call it, just making it the way that you want it to. It's very, very easy to manipulate natural hair. This is why, one of the reasons why I love it. You can have one look one day and the next day have something completely different. Me again, just separating curls. I like my front to lay a certain way. This is the finished product.